Imagine a small, foggy city on an island, becoming the financial heartbeat of an entire continent, a place where decisions made in marble buildings could shake markets across oceans, a city that survived plagues, fires, wars, and empires collapsing, yet still rose to dominate global finance. This is the story of London, how it transformed from a trading port on the River Thames into Europe's most powerful banking hub, controlling trillions of dollars that move silently every single day. But this rise wasn't an accident. It was a combination of brutal history, bold decisions, global conflict, and a few genius moves that changed the world of money forever. Let's dive deep into the real story. The river that started it. All our story begins more than 1,000 years ago. London wasn't rich. It wasn't glamorous, but it had one huge advantage. The River Thames, wide enough for ships, deep enough for cargo, and perfectly located between Europe and the Atlantic world, the Thames became London's lifeline. Merchants brought wool, spices, metals, and exotic goods, and where trade flows, money follows. By the 1600s, London had become the trade capital of Europe, but something important was missing. A place to handle all that money, and then came the turning point. The birth of the Bank of England. In 1694, England was broke. The country needed money to fund wars, rebuild its navy, and protect its expanding empire. A Scottish businessman named William Paterson had an idea. Let's create a bank that lends money to the government in exchange for power over the nation's finances. That idea became the Bank of England, one of the world's earliest central banks. This move changed everything. The Bank of England didn't just lend money. It created trust. Investors across Europe suddenly believed London is a safe place to put our money. This trust became the foundation of London's rise, and soon financial institutions, goldsmiths, and moneylenders rushed into the city, especially around one famous street, Lombard Street, the birthplace of British banking. Empire money. The power multiplier. As the British Empire expanded in the 1700s and 1800s, from India to Africa to the Caribbean, London became the command center of global commerce. Ships sailed under the British flag. Goods flowed through British ports. Insurance companies, trading houses, and banks exploded across the city. Companies like the East India Company weren't just trading tea and spices, they were shaping the world economy, with London as the headquarters. As the empire grew, London's wealth grew even faster. By the mid-1800s, London wasn't just a European hub, it was becoming the world's financial capital. But there was another reason London reached the top, a reason most people don't know. The gold standard. London's secret weapon in 1816. Britain made a bold decision. It became the first major country to adopt the gold standard. This meant every banknote could be exchanged for real gold. This brought stability, trust, and power. And where was the world? Gold stored. London. Because British money was backed by gold, international traders preferred settling debts in London. Soon, London's stock exchange deals, shipping insurance, and international loans were all priced in British currency. London became the clearinghouse of global trade. Banks from France, Germany, Italy, and the United States opened branches on London's streets. The city had officially become Europe's financial headquarters. But history had other plans, and London was about to face its biggest test. Surviving 2 world wars, World War I destroyed Europe's economy. World War II destroyed its cities. Bombs fell on London for 57 consecutive nights during the Blitz. Buildings collapsed. Thousands died. But one thing never stopped. The City of London kept trading. Even during war, banks opened, markets operated, and money continued to move. But something unexpected happened after the war. The United States rose as the new global superpower. New York challenged London's dominance. Many thought London was finished. But London had one more trick. The Eurodollar revolution in the 1950s, a loophole appeared in global finance. Banks realized that they could trade US dollars outside the United States without American regulations. Where did they choose to do it? London. These offshore US dollars were called Eurodollars, and they turned London into a magnet for international banking. Why London? Fewer restrictions, flexible banking rules, time zone between US and Asia, deep financial expertise, a government encouraging global money. By the 1960s, trillions of offshore dollars were flowing through London's banks. Without the Eurodollar market, London might have lost its crown, but instead it regained global dominance. And then came the next transformation. The Big Bang of 1986 is considered the year modern London finance was born. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher unleashed a set of radical reforms known as the Big Bang. Here's what changed. Trading shifted from traditional open outcry to electronic systems. Foreign banks were allowed to buy British firms. Restrictions on stockbrokers and banks were removed. Global investors rushed in. The result: London exploded with growth. International banks from America, Japan, France, and Germany moved their headquarters to London. Skyscrapers rose in Canary Wharf. Financial jobs skyrocketed. London became the fastest-growing financial center on Earth. And by the 1990s, London was officially Europe's banking capital. Why London remains number one even in the 21st century, even after economic crises, London hasn't lost its position. Why? Here are the key reasons. 1. Time zone advantage. London sits between Asia and America. It connects the world's markets in real time. 2. Global talent banks, hedge funds, insurance firms, and fintech startups all fight to hire London's workforce. 3. Flexible regulations. Compared to Europe, London offers more freedom for global banking and foreign investment. 4. Deep history of trust. Investors trust London's legal system, contracts, and financial laws. 5. The city within a city, the City of London Corporation, a tiny district, has its own laws, its own police, and centuries of financial autonomy. It's like a financial country inside the UK. The financial heart still beats. So how did London become Europe's banking hub? It wasn't luck. It wasn't geography alone. It was centuries of strategy, innovation, risk-taking, and survival. From the River Thames to the Bank of England, to empire trade, to the gold standard, to surviving 2 world wars, to the Eurodollar revolution, to the Big Bang reforms. London reinvented itself again and again. Today, trillions of pounds, dollars, and euros pass through London every day. Deals that shape the future. Decisions that impact entire countries, all made in a city that started as a simple trading port. London isn't just Europe's banking hub. It's one of the most important places in the global economy. And its story is far from over.
Empires rose, empires fell, and the money never stopped moving. This was just one chapter. The full story is still unfolding.